The secret twin brother club no one dares to mention. Their love was wild and forbidden. The screen door creaked like a guilty whisper in the still morning air of Elmwood Heights, Ohio, slamming shut behind Ethan as he bolted down the splintered porch steps. His heart hammered against his ribs, a frantic drumbeat echoing the thunder rumbling low in the distance. Rain was coming, big Midwestern sheets of it that would turn the dirt roads to mud and wash away the evidence of last night's recklessness. But nothing could scrub clean the memory burned into his skin. His twin brother's lips on his, hot and desperate under the flicker of a bare bulb in the barn. Ethan wiped his mouth with the back of his hand, tasting the faint salt of sweat and regret. He was 28, same as Alex, both of them born under the same stormy sky in this godforsaken town where everyone knew your business before you did. They were the Hayes twins, inseparable since the womb, now baristas by day at the corner diner, sketching forbidden dreams on napkins by night, identical down to the scar on their left knuckles from that childhood fight over a stolen comic book. But no one knew the half of it. No one dared whisper about the club they'd stumbled into at 17. The secret twin brother club, a shadowy network of guys like them, bound by blood and something darker, wilder. Meetings in abandoned silos, confessions swapped over cheap whiskey, all under vows of silence that carried the weight of exile if broken. Ethan's boots squelched in the wet grass as he cut through the backyard, the scent of damp earth and blooming lilacs twisting his gut. Lilacs, Mom's favorite. She'd planted them the year before cancer hollowed her out, leaving Dad to drown in Miller Lights and Bible verses at the local evangelical church. Boys, she'd say with that soft Ohio drawl. Family's the only thing that sticks when the world unravels. If only she knew how theirs had tangled into this knot of sin. A low sigh escaped him, ragged like tearing fabric. He paused at the edge of the cornfield, ears straining for the crunch of gravel under tires. Alex should be covering for him at the diner, spinning some lie about a flat tire or food poisoning. But the air felt too thick, too watchful. Last night, after the club meeting in the old grain elevator on the outskirts, 6 of them, all twins or near twins, eyes hollow with the same hunger. They'd lingered too long. Alex's hand on his thigh under the table, a brush that ignited everything they'd buried since puberty hit like a freight train. Back home, in the dim glow of their shared attic room, it had spilled over. Touches turned to grips, whispers to gasps, the creak of the mattress a symphony of surrender. Ethan's fingers trembled as he lit a cigarette, the flame dancing in the humid breeze. The smoke curled up like a ghost, carrying the faint tobacco tang that always reminded him of Dad's garage, tools scattered like forgotten promises. He inhaled deep, letting it burn, chasing the ache in his chest. Love, that's what it was, wasn't it? Not the twisted shit the club preached, that blood made it pure, primal. Just love, raw and American as apple pie gone rotten. But in Elmwood, where pickup trucks flew Confederate flags unironically and the preacher railed against sodomites every Sunday, it was a death sentence. Social, maybe literal if the wrong ears caught wind. A twig snapped behind him. Ethan spun, flicking the cig into the dirt, his pulse spiking like a cornered deer's. There, silhouetted against the rising sun, stood Alex. Same faded jeans slung low on narrow hips, same black tee clinging to the ridges of his abs from years of hauling hay bales for extra cash. His hair was messier than usual, jaw shadowed with overnight stubble that mirrored Ethan's own. Those blue eyes, God's cruelest joke, locked on him, stormy and unreadable. You think running fixes it? Alex's voice was gravel-low, laced with that Midwestern twang that turned vowels soft and secrets sharp. He stepped closer, boots silent now on the dew-slick grass, the air between them humming like a live wire. Ethan's throat tightened, a swallow like swallowing glass. We can't keep doing this, Alex. The club is poison. And if Dad finds out, Dad's a drunk ghost. Alex closed the gap, his breath warm against Ethan's cheek, smelling of black coffee and the mints he chewed to hide the whiskey. His hand found Ethan's wrist, thumb tracing the pulse point in a rhythm they'd invented as kids, Morse code for, "I'm here." But now it meant more, too much. Last night wasn't the club. It was us. The words hung heavy, a thunderclap in the quiet. Ethan's free hand fisted in Alex's shirt, pulling him in even as his mind screamed to push away. Their foreheads touched, breaths mingling in shallow huffs. The world narrowed to this. The faint stubble rasp, the distant low of cattle from Old Man Hargrove's farm, the electric buzz of cicadas waking up. Ethan's lips parted on a shaky exhale. It's forbidden for a reason. Alex's laugh was bitter, a huff that stirred the fine hairs on Ethan's neck. Forbidden's just another word for wanted. They kissed then, fierce and fumbling, like thieves stealing fire. Alex's mouth was all heat and demand, teeth nipping at Ethan's lower lip until copper bloomed on his tongue. Hands roamed, under shirts, over belts, mapping territory no map could chart. Ethan's back hit the rough bark of the old oak, the one they'd carved their initials into at 12, E+A = forever. Now it scratched through fabric, a reminder that forever was a lie in a town that chewed up queers and spat out husks. A car horn blared from the road, sharp as a gunshot. They broke apart, chests heaving, eyes wide with the wild panic of almost caught. It was just the milk truck, rumbling past with its daily groan, but the spell shattered. Ethan shoved Alex back a step, wiping his mouth again, this time smearing the taste of him like guilt. "Go to work?" Ethan muttered, voice cracking on the words. "Act normal." Alex's jaw clenched, that familiar twin tick where a muscle jumped like a warning. "Normal's the real killer, Eth." He turned, shoulders squared against the dawn, but paused at the field's edge. Over his shoulder, soft as a prayer, "Meet me tonight, the silo. We talk about leaving this shithole." Ethan nodded, though Alex couldn't see it. Leaving. The word tasted like freedom and ash. As Alex vanished into the cornstalks, rustling like whispers, Ethan sank to his knees in the mud. The first fat raindrops plopped around him, cool against his fevered skin. He pressed his forehead to the earth, inhaling the petrichor, clean, loamy promise. But deep down he knew, the storm wasn't in the sky. It was in them, brewing since the day they shared a womb and a world that never wanted them whole. The diner shift dragged like a hangover. Ethan slung plates of greasy hash browns and over-easy eggs, the sizzle of bacon a constant underscore to the chatter of farmers griping about soybean prices. The air reeked of burnt coffee and fryer oil, clinging to his apron like accusation. Mrs. Delaney, the busybody widow from church, eyed him over her spectacles as she stirred sugar into her tea. 5 spoons, always 5, a ritual that made Ethan's teeth ache. "You boys look peak-ed today," she drawled, her voice syrup-thick with false concern. "Your daddy says you been burnin' the midnight oil with them artsy sketches. Waste of God's gifts, if you ask me." Ethan forced a grin, the kind that didn't reach his eyes. "Just chasing dreams, ma'am. You know how it is." He poured her refill with steady hands, though his mind replayed Alex's touch, the way his fingers dug into hip bones like anchors. She clucked her tongue, a wet smack that echoed off the Formica counters. "Dreams are fine, till they turn to nightmares. Mind that club your uncle whispered about once. Twins stickin' too close. Ain't natural." His stomach dropped, a cold plummet. Uncle Ray, Dad's estranged brother, the one who'd vanished to San Francisco in the 80s with rumors of that lifestyle. Had he spilled? Ethan's laugh came out forced, a bark. "Club? Sounds like gossip, Mrs. D. We just brew coffee and draw doodles." She hummed, unconvinced, her spoon tinkling against porcelain like tiny judgments. As she shuffled out, bell jingling overhead, Ethan gripped the counter, knuckles whitening. The club. It started innocent enough. A forum post Alex found on a dark web corner. For those bound by blood and beyond, they'd driven 3 hours to the first meet in Cleveland, hearts pounding to the thump of shitty indie rock in a dive bar basement. 6 pairs of eyes, all mirrors of their own turmoil. Rules etched in blood pricks. No names outside the circle. No outsiders. Share the fire, but never let it consume. But it had. Last night's confessional. Some guy from Detroit spilling how his twin had OD'd after their dad walked in on them, had cracked something open. Ethan and Alex, buzzed on bourbon, had slipped away to the truck, fogging the windows with breaths that turned to moans. Home by midnight, but the attic ladder groaned under their urgency, springs protesting as they tangled in sheets that smelled of laundry soap and sin. Ethan, Carla, the diner's chain-smoking manager, barked from the kitchen, her voice a gravel rasp honed by 40 Marlboros a day. "Table 5's waitin'. Move your ass." He nodded, autopilot kicking in, balancing trays like a circus act. But every glance at the clock ticked closer to closing, to the silo, to the choice that could unravel everything. Dad would be at the VFW by then, nursing drafts with vets who swapped war stories for homophobic jabs. Safe for a few hours. The lunch rush ebbed, leaving Ethan wiping down booths, the rag's damp slap rhythmic against vinyl. A country tune crackled from the jukebox. Garth Brooks crooning about friends in low places. Fitting. Alex texted once. Silo. 10. Don't chicken out. Ethan's thumb hovered over reply, settling on a thumbs-up emoji, lame as a kid's promise. By dusk, the sky bruised purple, thunder grumbling like an old man's complaint. Ethan clocked out, waving off Carla's offer of leftovers. Got plans, he lied, the words sticking like tar. The drive to the silo was 10 miles of winding blacktop, corn whispering secrets in the wind. His old Ford pickup rattled, dashboard lights flickering like Morse code. Danger ahead. He parked in the shadow of the rusted tower, once a hub of harvest glory, now a haunt for lovers and losers. The air hummed with crickets, a chorus to his racing pulse. Alex was already there, leaning against the ladder's base, a flask glinting in his hand. Moonlight silvered his features, sharpening the hollows under his cheekbones. Thought you might bail. Ethan killed the engine, the sudden silence amplifying his heartbeat. He stepped out, gravel crunching under tires like bones. We're in this together. Always were. Alex straightened, flask forgotten, and pulled him into a hug that crushed the air from his lungs. Their bodies aligned perfect, puzzle pieces warped by want. Then let's burn it down. The club, the town, all of it. Head west. California. Start over. Ethan buried his face in Alex's neck, inhaling the clean soap scent mixed with sweat, home, in its truest form. And the secret? We carry that forever. Alex's arms tightened, a vice of resolve. Forever's ours to redefine. They climbed the ladder then, rungs cold against palms, the wind whipping their shirts like flags of surrender. At the top, the view stretched endless, fields rolling to horizon, stars pricking the velvet sky. They sat on the edge, legs dangling over abyss, shoulders brushing in silent communion. Tell me a story, Alex murmured, head tipping to rest on Ethan's shoulder, the weight familiar as breathing. Ethan's voice emerged soft, laced with the day's weariness. Once, 2 brothers found a door no one else could see. Behind it, a world where blood meant freedom, not chains. As thunder rolled closer, their hands found each other, fingers lacing in the dark. The rain began in earnest, sheeting down in silver rods, soaking them to bone. But in that deluge, Ethan felt it. A spark, wild and forbidden, ready to ignite. The rain hammered the silo's metal roof like 1,000 accusatory fingers, turning the world below into a blurred watercolor of mud and memory. Ethan shivered, not from the chill seeping through his drenched tee, but from the heat of Alex's thigh pressed against his, a deliberate anchor in the storm. They'd stripped off their sopping shirts, hanging them on a protruding bolt like flags of truce, bare torsos glistening under the sporadic lightning flashes that lit the night like paparazzi bulbs. "Remember the first time?" Alex asked, his voice cutting through the downpour's roar, low and laced with that husky timbre that always unraveled Ethan. He took a swig from the flask, Jack Daniels sharp as regret, and passed it over. The burn down Ethan's throat chased the cold, blooming warmth in his belly. "Which first?" Ethan handed it back, their fingers brushing in a spark that had nothing to do with static. He leaned back against the curved wall, the metal cool and unforgiving against his spine, rivets digging like tiny judgments. "The club or us?" Alex chuckled, a rumble that vibrated through their shared lean. "Both. God, that basement in Cleveland smelled like stale beer and desperation. Those guys Mark and Mike from Toledo, right? Twins like us, but their eyes haunted, like they'd already lost." Ethan nodded, the memory sharp as a switchblade. 17, licenses fresh and rebellion fresher. They'd lied to Dad about a school project and piled into the truck for the drive. The bar was a dive called the Rusty Nail, neon sign buzzing like angry bees, parking lot pitted with puddles reflecting taillights. Downstairs, the air hung thick with smoke and secrets, pool balls clacking in the corner like distant gunfire. The club leader, some grizzled vet named Leo, his own twin long gone to AIDS in the plague years, had nodded them in after a blood prick on the thumb, the sting of baptism. Bound by blood, freed by fire, Leo had intoned, his voice gravel from too many smokes and screams. 6 pairs that night, stories spilling like confessions. Beatings from fathers who saw mirrors of their own shame. Hookups and truck stops that ended in fists. The endless dance of hiding in plain sight. Ethan and Alex had sat silent at first, hands clenched under the table, with scarred from 1,000 untold tales. But when Leo asked for shares, Alex's grip had tightened, knuckles white. We're just figuring it," Alex had muttered, cheeks flushing under the dim fluorescence. But his eyes met Ethan's across the circle, a current pulling taut. After, in the truck, rain sluicing the windshield like tears, they'd parked on a back road. Words failed, but mouths didn't. A clumsy fumble, zippers rasping, breaths hitching, that ended with them panting, foreheads pressed, the windows fogged opaque. "What the hell are we?" Ethan had whispered, voice cracking like thunder. Alex's reply, soft against his temple, "Everything." Now in the silo, lightning cracked overhead, illuminating Alex's profile. Jaw set, lips parted on a sigh that fogged the air between them. "That night changed us, made the forbidden feel like fate." Ethan's hand moved of its own accord, tracing the tattoo on Alex's collarbone. A crude twin flame they'd inked themselves at 18 with a kit from the flea market, needles buzzing like hornets in their attic. The design was uneven, flames licking toward each other's hearts, a secret etched in skin. "Fate or curse?" he murmured, thumb pressing into the faded lines, feeling the pulse beneath. "Dad's been weirder lately, staring at us during dinner like we're puzzles he can't solve." Alex tensed, the flask clinking against the floor as he set it down. The rain's rhythm faltered for a beat, thunder growling low. "He's on to something. Found that sketchpad under the couch, the one with our drawings." Ethan's blood iced, a visceral chill despite the flask's fire. The pad. Pages of charcoal and pencil, bodies intertwined, faces blurred but unmistakably theirs. Not porn, not quite. More like fever dreams. Limbs entangled in fields of corn, mouths open in silent cries. Alex's talent, raw and unpolished, captured what words couldn't. "You burned it, right?" Alex's silence was answer enough. He shifted, knee nudging Ethan's in apology. "Couldn't. It's us. Eth proof we're real. Real." The word lodged in Ethan's throat like a bone. In Elmwood, reality was church potlucks and Friday night lights, where queers were punchlines or pariahs. Last summer, Tommy Reese, high school quarterback, closeted as a coffin, had hanged himself in his garage after his dad found texts from a boyfriend in Dayton. The town mourned with casseroles and whispers, preacher thundering from the pulpit about demons fleeing the flesh. Ethan and Alex had attended the funeral, hands clasped under black suits, the organ's dirge vibrating through pews like a warning. "I saw Dad's truck idling outside the grain elevator last week," Ethan said, voice barely audible over the storm's crescendo. "After our meeting, he didn't confront us, just watched." Alex's breath hitched, a sharp inhale that cut the humid air. He turned, cupping Ethan's face with calloused palms, thumbs sweeping damp hair from his forehead. The touch was gentle, reverent, eyes searching like lost miners. "Then we go. Tomorrow. Pack light sketches, clothes, the cash from the diner tips. Head to Chicago first, crash with Leo's contact." He mentioned a scene there, safe houses for us. Always us. Ethan's chest ached with it, a swell of love so fierce it bordered terror. He leaned in, lips brushing Alex's in a kiss that started soft, lips parting on shared exhales, tongues tentative as new lovers. But hunger surged, hands roaming slick skin, nails scraping ribs in maps of need. Alex groaned into his mouth, a low vibration that shot straight to Ethan's core, hips bucking instinctive against the press of denim. The silo echoed their sounds. Wet slides of skin, gasps swallowed by thunder, the metallic tang of rain mixing with musk. Ethan broke away first, panting, forehead to Alex's. "What if it's not enough? The club. They say twins are eternal, but what if we break?" Alex's laugh was breathless, fingers tangling in Ethan's hair, tugging just shy of pain. "Then we break beautiful, like waves on Lake Erie." They tangled there on the gritty floor, rain drumming a frantic tattoo, bodies moving in sync born of shared DNA and stolen nights. Climax hit like lightning, white-hot and blinding, leaving them limp and laughing, breaths sinking in the afterglow. Alex traced lazy circles on Ethan's back, the touch featherlight, stirring gooseflesh despite the warmth. As the storm ebbed to a drizzle, pattering like hesitant applause, Ethan sat up, pulling Alex with him. The flask lay forgotten, empty now, rolling with the wind's sigh. "Chicago," he echoed, testing the word. It tasted of possibility. Skyscrapers piercing clouds, galleries hungry for their art, crowds where twins could blend or stand out without shame. But dawn crept insidious, pink fingers over the horizon, chasing shadows. They dressed in silence, shirts heavy as wet regrets, the air thick with unspoken fears. At the ladder, Alex paused, hand on a rung, turning back with eyes fierce. "No more hiding. Promise." Ethan nodded, throat tight. "Promise." The descent was slick, feet slipping on rungs beaded with water, hearts heavier with each drop. At the bottom, mud sucked at boots, reluctant to release. Alex pulled him close one last time, kiss fierce under the eaves. "See you at home. Act normal." Normal. The lie they lived. Ethan watched him go, taillights fading into mist, then climbed into his own truck, engine coughing to life like an old smoker's hack. The drive home wound through fields awakening, dew jeweled on silk green leaves, birdsong piercing the quiet. But peace eluded, mind replaying Dad's stare, the sketchpad's ghosts. Pulling into the driveway, the house loomed, Victorian fixer-upper, paint peeling like scabs, porch swing creaking empty. Dad's truck was there, but the VFW shift ran late Thursdays. Relief flickered, doused quick by the front door ajar, a sliver of lamplight spilling like blood. Ethan's pulse thrummed, hand hovering on the knob. Push and face whatever waited. Run and lose the fragile thread to family. He stepped in, the floorboards groaning welcome, air stale with yesterday's meatloaf and something sharper. Cologne, Dad's Old Spice, mingled with bourbon. Dad, voice steady but knees jelly. From the kitchen, a scrape of chair, heavy footfalls. Dad emerged, silhouette broad in the hall light, flannel shirt rumpled, eyes red-rimmed like he'd wrestled demons all night. In his fist, the sketch pad, pages splayed, charcoal smudged from grip. "Boy," he rumbled, voice thick as corn mash. "We gotta talk." Ethan's world tilted, the room spinning slow. The storm outside had passed, but inside, it raged anew. Blood roared in his ears, drowning the tick of the mantel clock. Dad stepped closer, the pad thrust forward like evidence in court, faces on paper staring back, accusing, alive. "It's not," Ethan started, but words crumbled, dust. Dad's face crumpled, not anger but anguish, lines deepening like plowed earth. He dropped the pad, pages fluttering like wounded birds. "Son, what v you done?" The question hung, a noose. Ethan met his eyes, seeing not judgment but fracture, a mirror of his own breaking heart. "Loved," he whispered, the truth ablade. "Loved my brother." Dad sank to the stairs, head in hands, a sob-wrenching free raw animal. The sound pierced Ethan deeper than any storm, the scent of bourbon sharp, mingling with tears unshed. He knelt, hand tentative on Dad's knee, the fabric rough under palm. "It's wrong," Dad choked, but no fire, just weariness. "Bible says." "Screw the Bible," Ethan cut in, voice steel despite the quiver. "It's us. Real as this house, this town." Silence stretched, broken only by Dad's ragged breaths. The drip of faucet in the sink like a metronome to madness. Minutes bled, then Dad looked up, eyes wet mirrors. "Your uncle, right? He had a twin. Meant the world. When he left for Frisco, chasin' that life. I lost him. Lost myself." Ethan's breath caught, puzzle pieces slotting cruel. Dad and Uncle Ray, twins like them. The club's shadow stretched longer, roots in family soil. "You knew?" he asked, voice small. Dad shook his head, slow. "Guessed." After Ray's letters stopped. "Now this." He gestured to the pad. "Defeated." "Alex." Ethan nodded, throat closing. The air thickened, charged with revelations unspoken for decades. "Does he feel it too?" "Always has." Dad rose then, movements ponderous, clapping a hand on Ethan's shoulder, firm, not crushing. The weight was forgiveness or close. "Go, before I say something stupid. But Ethan, come back. We fix this family, whatever it takes." Tears stung, hot tracks down Ethan's cheeks. He hugged Dad fierce, the embrace awkward but earnest, flannel scratching stubble. "Love you," he mumbled into shoulder, the words foreign yet fitting. Outside, the night air kissed cool, stars winking conspiratorial. Ethan texted Alex, "Home. Dad knows. Pack now." Reply instant. "On it. Chicago by dawn." The engine roared to life, headlights cutting fog, carrying him toward a brother. A city, a life unbound. But as fields blurred past, Ethan glanced back. The house shrinking, a beacon in the dark. Leaving wasn't escape. It was beginning, and in the rearview he saw it. The wild flame of their love, flickering but unquenched. Dawn broke over Elmwood like a reluctant confession, painting the sky in streaks of rose and gold that seeped through the truck's cracked windshield. Ethan gripped the wheel white-knuckled, the engine's growl a steady companion to the chaos in his chest. Bags thumped in the bed, duffels stuffed with jeans, tees, the sketchpad resurrected from Dad's guilt, and a shoebox of cash scraped from tip jars and odd jobs. $2,000, give or take, enough for bus tickets to Chicago and a month of ramen if luck held. Alex rode shotgun, silent sentinel. One boot propped on dash, fingers drumming a nervous tattoo on his knee. The cab smelled of them. Coffee dregs from thermoses, faint cologne, the underlying musk of hurried goodbyes. They'd loaded up in the pre-dawn hush, Dad's silhouette in the kitchen window, unmoving statue as they hugged him rough, promises exchanged in grunts and grips. "Take care of each other," Dad had rasped, voice cracking on the porch, hand lingering on the truck door. His eyes, bloodshot and bleary, held a lifetime's weight. Ray's ghost, their future. No sermon, no curse, just a nod that said more than scripture ever could. Ethan had swallowed hard, throat burning, and peeled out, gravel spitting like sparks. Now, Interstate 71 unspooled north, cornfields giving way to soy and subdivisions, billboards hawking Jesus billboards and truck stop diners. Radio crackled static-laced classic rock, Springsteen wailing about Born to Run glory, irony thick as humidity. Alex fiddled with the dial, landing on a call-in show, some DJ drawling about heartbreak anthems for the open road. "Fitting," Alex muttered, his first words in 20 miles. He shot Ethan a sidelong glance, blue eyes shadowed by fatigue, stubble darkening his jaw like charcoal smudge. "You okay?" Ethan exhaled slow, a hiss through teeth, shoulders a nodding fraction. "Yeah, just Dad's face, like he saw his own youth replayed in us." Alex's hand found his thigh, squeeze firm, thumb circling denim in that soothing code. Heat bloomed under touch, chasing chill of memory. "He let us go. That's more than most get. More than Ray, maybe." Ethan voiced it soft, testing waters. The revelation last night lingered. A bomb defused but shrapnel embedded. Dad and Uncle Ray, twins torn by secrets, one staying to rot in Elmwood soil, the other fleeing to rainbow flags and regret. Letters Dad burned in the garage barrel. Ashes Ethan once sifted as a kid, mistaking for buried treasure. Alex's fingers stilled, then resumed. "Pulled those letters from the attic rafters last week. Ray wrote about a club in the Castro, twins only underground raves where blood ties meant entry. Sounded like paradise. Or hell." Ethan's grip tightened on wheel, lane drifting slight before correction. "Our club?" Leo mentioned roots in the 70s San Fran origins. "You think Dad knew?" A shrug, shoulders rolling fluid. "Explains why he stared at us funny after meetings. Like he saw Ray in our shadows." The cab fell quiet again, Springsteen's gravel giving way to ads for trucker CBs. Ethan cracked window, rush of air whipping hair, carrying scent of asphalt and wildflowers from median strips. His mind wandered to the club. Last night's echo in the silo, confessions under rain. Would they miss the Hayes twins? Or was it relief, one less pair to police? Hunger gnawed by Zanesville, sun climbing high, baking the cab. They pulled into a Stuckey's, pumps humming under faded canopy. Bell ding-dinging as Ethan fueled up. Inside, air con-blasted frigid. Aisles stocked with pork rinds and keychain eagles. Alex grabbed Slim Jims and Cokes, paying with crumpled fives, while Ethan lingered at magazine rack, flipping through a tattoo ink special, flames and skulls staring back like omens. At a corner booth, vinyl cracking under weight, they ate in companionable silence, fluorescent buzz overhead mingling with slurps of fizz. Alex's knee nudged Ethan's under table, playful nudge that lingered, heat building slow. "Chicago," Alex said around a chew, eyes sparking. "Leo said there's a gallery on Halstead, owns by a guy who scouts street artists. We crash at his safe house, pitch sketches. Boom. Fame. Babes no wait, just us." Ethan laughed. First real one since Silo. Bark echoing off for Micah. "Babes? Careful or I'll think you're defecting." Alex's foot hooked ankle tug gentle. "Never. You're my only vice." Gaze held, intense, fork pausing midair. The diner hummed around them. Truckers jawing over coffee, waitress refilling with mechanical smiles. But their booth was island, world narrowing to shared salt shake and stolen glances. They hit road again, Ohio flattening to Indiana's endless flats, wind turbines spinning lazy like giants dreaming. Talk flowed freer now, plans sketched verbal. Apartment hunt in Boys Town, night shifts at coffee joints to fun days in studios. No more hiding, Alex vowed, hand waving emphatic. Tattoos out, sketches framed. Let him see the twins who burn bright. Ethan nodded, but doubt wormed. Whispers of Elmwood's judgment. Dad's solitary silhouette. Phone buzzed in cup holder. Unknown Ohio number. He ignored first, then second, third. On fourth, Alex snatched it, answering gruff. Hayes residence? Wrong number. Voice tinny. Cutting. Ethan? It's Carla from Diner. Your dad's. Had an accident. VFW lot. Slipped in mud after storm. Hospital now. Bad. World stuttered. Brakes slamming as Ethan veered shoulder. Gravel spraying. Phone tumbled. Alex's face paling mirror to his. What? Ethan choked, snatching device. Carla? Say that again. Broken hip. Concussion. Doc say he'll pull through, but come back, hon. He asked for you boys. The line died, leaving silence roar louder than semis thundering past. Ethan stared dashboard, numbers blurring, chest caving under invisible press. Alex's hand on neck, massage firm. We turn around? Logic screamed yes, family, duty, the pull of blood. But heart rebelled, visions of Chicago's lights, freedom's taste. He let us go, Ethan whispered, voice fray. Knew and let go. Alex's sigh ruffled hair, warm breath. Doesn't mean abandon. Quick visit, then north. Dad needs to see we're okay. Decision crystallized, U-turn signal clicking like fate's tongue. Southbound now, sun dipping west, shadows lengthening. Cab thickened with tension. Radio off, only tire hum and occasional sniffle. Ethan replayed Dad's hug. The gruff love you, unspoken but felt in grips tremble. Hospital loomed in Columbus. Sprawling beige beast. Yard doors hissing open to antiseptic sting and beeps. They found Dad in a room smelling of bleach and wilted flowers. Leg elevated in traction. Face ashen under fluorescent glare. Eyes lit fraction at sight of them, hand extending feeble. Boys, he croaked, voice sandpaper. Didn't think you'd. Ethan crossed room in 3 strides, enveloping hand in his, skin paper thin. Always Dad. Alex flanked other side, mirror image, their presence's twin bulwark. Talk stuttered. Doctor's jargon, insurance hassles. The accident's silly slip on puddle reflecting last night's rain. Dad's gaze darted between, lingering on joined hands at bedside. Saw Ray in a dream last night, he murmured, eyelids heavy. He said forgive. Live. Tears pricked Ethan's eyes, mirroring Alex's. We will, but we're heading out after Chicago. Art. Life. Dad nodded slow, squeeze weak but sure. Go. Send postcards. And Ethan, tell the club hi for your old man. Wink faint, secret shared. Shock rippled, but warmth followed, acceptance. Full circle. They stayed till visiting hours ended. Nurses shooing gentle, promising daily calls. In parking lot, night velvet, stars urban smudged. Ethan pulled Alex into shadows. Kiss gratitude and grief, lips salty. Closer now, Alex breathed against mouth. 1 stop down. Back on 71 North, exhaustion weighted lids. But resolve burned brighter. Indiana blurred. Billboards for casinos and corn mazes. Dreams weaving with reality. Sleep claimed Ethan at wheel. Head lolling on Alex's shoulder. Dreams of silos and cities. Flames entwining eternal. The Chicago skyline pierced the horizon like jagged teeth hungry for dreams. Steel and glass glinting under midday sun as the bus wheezed into the Greyhound terminal on the south side. Ethan stirred from dozy haze, neck crick from Alex's shoulder pillow. the rumble of diesel fading to urban cacophony. Horns blaring, vendors hawking, a saxophone wail from street corner cutting sharp. Bags slung over shoulders, they stepped into the fray, air thick with hot dog steam and exhaust. A far cry from Elmwood's corn-kissed quiet. "Welcome to the jungle," Alex quipped, voice laced with thrill, eyes wide scanning the bustle. He adjusted duffel strap, tattoo peeking at collar, a flame lick against collarbone. 28 felt young here, invincible amid the throng of commuters and tourists, suits brushing tees without a glance. Ethan inhaled deep, the city's pulse sinking his own. Concrete grit, river tang faint on breeze, promise electric. Leo's contact, Rico, right? Said meet at the Bean noon. They navigated L train clatter, elevated tracks rumbling overhead like metallic thunder, down to Grant Park. The Bean loomed, mirrored kidney reflecting sky and faces, tourists snapping selfies oblivious. Rico waited by a bench, 40s lean with salt pepper buzzcut, leather jacket over graphic tee proclaiming, "Blood Brothers forever." His eyes, sharp as Leo's tails, lit recognition. Hayes twins? From Ohio flatlands. Handshake firm, calluses trading stories unspoken. Rico led them through Loop's vein, skyscrapers dwarfing, chatter multilingual. Safe house in Boys Town, walk up above a drag bar. Rents month to month, no questions. Gallery scouts a friend. Show him sketches tomorrow. The apartment was a shoebox miracle. Peeling wallpaper murals of rainbows, twin bed shoved against window overlooking Halstead's neon pulse. Kitchenette stocked with ramen packets and half-empty whiskey. But it was theirs, key in palm, door clicking shut like freedom's seal. They collapsed on mattress, springs protesting laugh, bags unzipped in chaos. "Home," Ethan breathed, head on Alex's chest, heartbeat thrum under ear like bass line, fabric soft from laundromat wash, scent of new detergent mingling with skin's familiar salt. Alex's fingers carded hair, tug playful. Ours. Kiss followed, lazy exploration. Lips parting slow, tongues dancing languid, hands mapping rediscovered terrain. Afternoon light slanted gold through blinds, striping bodies in bars of warmth, sighs soft against sheets that smelled of possibility. Hunger pulled them streetward at dusk, Boys Town alive with parade of colors. Leather daddies arm in arm, queens in heels clicking pavement, flags fluttering from balconies like defiant petals. They grabbed tacos from truck, spicy verde sauce dripping chins, laughing over bites as a busker strummed folk tunes about lost loves found. "Sketch this," Alex urged, nodding to a mural. Two men entwined in vines, faces fierce. Ethan pulled pad from bag, pencil flying quick, lines bold, shadows deep, capturing the wild grace. Alex watched, chin on shoulder, breath-warm neck. Beautiful, like us. Night fell velvet, bar below thumping bass through floorboards, laughter spilling up like champagne bubbles. They ventured down, threshold crossed hesitant. Door swinging to dim glow, rainbow lights pulsing, air hazy with smoke and sweat. Patrons nodded welcome. No stairs for the twins in flannel and jeans. Here, identical meant intriguing, not infamous. Drinks flowed, beers foamy, shots of something blue burning sweet. A drag queen named Velvet commandeered them to dance floor, hips swaying hypnotic, feather boa tickling arms. "Fresh meat," she crowed, voice smoke honey, pulling them into whirl. Ethan spun Alex, hands on waist, bodies sinking to synth beats, sweat beading brows, grins wide as the lake. Later, slumped at bar, Velvet slid shots, eyeing them coy. "Twins, huh? The hot kind. Spill, story." Alex leaned in, voice low confessional. "Small town escapees. Forbidden flames." She fanned face dramatic. "Ooh, scandal. Club material. Wink sharp, but warmth under." Ethan stiffened fraction, pad clutched tight. Something like that. Velvet's laugh peeled, hand patting. Honey, here? Flames fly free. No chains. Back upstairs, buzz humming veins, they tumbled bed, urgency tempered by tenderness. Kisses trailing collar to navel, gasps muffled in pillows, bodies arching in rhythm born of blood. Climax crested soft, waves lapping rather than crashing, leaving them tangled, breaths evening to snores. Morning brought coffee bitter from pot, sunlight harsh through grime-streaked window. Rico knocked early, gallery address scrawled on napkin. Lucas Place, Wicker Park. Show the twins thing. He's got a nose for raw. Subway jostled them west, neighborhoods shifting. Boys' Downs glitter to hipster haunts, murals exploding color on brick. Luca's gallery squatted in converted warehouse, windows vast framing abstracts fierce. He was 50s wiry, glasses perched nose, scanning sketches with hawk eyes. Incestuous fire, he murmured, flipping pages, fingers lingering on entwined forms. Blood and lust, markets hungry for taboo truth. Offer came swift, solo show in 3 months, advance for supplies. They walked out dazed, checks in pocket, Chicago's wind whipping triumphant. But high-crashed evening, phone call shattering, Leo from club, voice gravel panic. Meeting gone south, feds sniffing raids on San Fran chapter. Your dad's name dropped. He called Ray's old contact, stirred hornets. Ethan's stomach knotted, skyline blurring past. Dad? Why? Guilt, maybe, or warning. Get low, clubs fracturing. Alex's face mirrored dread, hand clenching phone post call. We cut ties. Ethan paced loft, floor creaking protest. It's family, our kind, but Chicago's clean slate. Decision brewed over takeout lo mein, steam curling like doubts. They chose severance, email to Leo out. Flames dim for now. Sleep came fitful, dreams of silos raided, flames snuffed. Weeks blurred to rhythm. Mornings sketching in park, pencils whispering over paper. Afternoons barista gigs at corner cafe, foam art swirling hearts. Nights tangled in bed, exploring edges. Ropes from art supply, whispers of trust, boundaries pushed gentle. One Friday, Velvet dragged to Pride after party. Warehouse pulsing EDM, bodies painted glow, twins lost in sea of acceptance. Alex pulled Ethan to shadowed corner, kiss devouring, hands bold under shirts. Love you, he growled against throat, teeth grazing pulse. Wild, forbidden hours. Ethan melted, fingers digging hips. Always. But shadows lengthened. Postcard to dad returned undelivered. Address unknown scribbled. Worry gnawed. Calls to hospital yielding nothing. Moved, nurse said terse. Family matters. Alex found him staring Lakewood dawn. Waves lapping gray. We'll find him. After show. Gallery night arrived electric. Space transformed. Walls hung with their fire. Twins burning, embracing, dissolving to ash and rebirth. Crowd murmured approval, Luca beaming sails. A collector cornered, voice silk. The club real. Ethan's smile tightened. Inspired. Post-reception, champagne fizzing. They slipped alley. Rain slicking pavement. Kiss under street lamp fierce. But phone buzzed insistent. Unknown Cali number. Answer trembled. Ethan? Uncle Ray. Your dad. Told me everything. Club's mine started it with him before split. Come west. Heal. World spun. Flames reigniting. Chicago was spark. California. Inferno. They packed dawn. Bus westbound. Hands clasped over maps of possibility. The forbidden. No longer chain but wings. The California sun beat down like a spotlight on their sins and salvations, baking the Greyhound's vinyl seats as it crawled into San Francisco's sprawl. Ethan blinked against glare, city unfolding in layers. Golden Gate's rust-orange span bridging fog-shrouded bay. Victorian row houses painted candy colors climbing hills steep as ambition. Alex squeezed his hand, fingers interlaced sticky with sweat. The gesture public here, unremarked amid the bus's motley cargo. Backpackers with dreads, suits thumbing phones, a drag mama fanning feathers. "Ray's waiting," Alex murmured, voice husky from disuse, eyes tracing the approach. The call 3 days back had cracked open floodgates. Uncle Ray, alive at 62, voice cracked but steady over line, spilling decades. The club birthed in 78, Castro basements pulsing disco defiance while AIDS loomed shadow. Him and Dad, twins torn when Ray came out, Dad staying buried in Elmwood's closet, Ray fleeing west to build sanctuary for bloodbound lovers. "Dad vanished after mailing your postcard back," Ray had said, static crackling like old film. "Left note. Find your brother. Forgive mine. Traced him to a motel, gone when I arrived. But you boys, come. Club's yours now." Now, disembarking at Transbay, air crisp with eucalyptus and sea salt, they hailed cab. Yellow beater fishtailing hills, Ray's address in Mission scribbled hasty. The house squatted on Dolores Street, rainbow flag limp in breeze, porch cluttered succulents and wind chimes tinkling soft. Ray answered door and tie-dye faded, silver hair cued, eyes, Dad's eyes, crinkling welcome. "Nephews," he breathed, hugs bone crush, scent patchouli and pipe tobacco wrapping like blanket. "Look like your pa at 20, trouble and beauty." Inside, walls breathed history. Photos yellowed of young Ray and Dad arm-wrestling beaches, club manifestos framed beside protest signs. Kitchen table groaned under burritos from taqueria, steam rising spicy. Talk poured, Dad's trail cold, but Ray's network buzzing. Sightings in Reno truck stops, mumbling of fixing sins. "He's chasing ghosts," Ray said, fork pausing, guac dripping. "Us. Thinks the club cursed us." Ethan's throat tightened, bite ash. "It saved us. Gave words to the wild." Ray's nod sage, hand covering Alex's. "And broke plenty. Raids hit hard. Feds calling it cult fringe. Leos in witness protection spilling to save skin. But core holds. Meats and wine cellars now, vows renewed. They crashed guest room that night, futon lumpy but laced with lavender. Bay view through lace curtains. Sleep evaded, bodies humming proximity. Alex's leg draped possessive, breath even neck. Ethan traced tattoos flame. Whisper, "Think Dad's okay?" Alex stirred, lips brushing ear. "We'll find him. Family's magnet." Dawn fog rolled thick, muffling city stir. Ray brewed coffee strong, Turkish grind bitter tongue. Tour today, club remnants. Then hunt. San Fran unfolded kaleidoscope. Castro's rainbow crosswalks sticky gum, storefronts hawking leather and lube, murals of Harvey Milk gazing benevolent. Ray led to hidden basement bar, the twin flame sign neon flicker, door unmarked. Inside, dim alcoves cradled 8 souls. Pairs or solos, ages spanning, eyes holding same haunted hunger. "New blood," Ray announced, arm around Ethan. Murmurs rippled, hands extended. Prick of thumb, blood oath renewed. Stories shared. A pair from Portland, twins surviving church deprogramming. Solo from LA, brother lost to conversion camp. Alex sketched quick, pad-filling faces fierce. "Art's our weapon," Ray said post-meet, streetcar clanging past. "Show here. Gallery in hate owns by old clubber." But Hunt called insistent. They piled Ray's Volvo, north to Reno, desert stretching barren, mirages dancing heat. Motels dotted 80 like warts, neon vacancy buzzing flies. First lead. Clerk at Silver Sage, grizzled with ashtray rasp. "Yeah, saw a fella, mid-50s, Ohio plates, paid cash. Rambling bout twins and fire. Left east, toward Salt Lake. Trail warmed, hearts raced. Nights in cheap rooms, neon bleeding red through blinds. They claimed each other fierce. Bodies slick sweat, moans echoing tile, love a rebellion against uncertainty. Alex's hands pinned wrists, gaze dark. Mine, he growled, thrust deep, rhythm punishing sweet. Ethan arched, gasp tearing. Yours, forever wild. Salt Lake dawned Mormon pristine, but underbelly hid in truck stops off I-15. Waitress at Denny's, name tag Barb, poured refills with squint. Hayes? Drunk bastard, Bible-thumping queers 1 minute, crying brothers next. Headed Vegas, said. End of line. Vegas glittered false promise. Strip a vein of excess pulsing crowds. They scoured casinos, slots chiming endless, air smoke-thick. Flashing Dad's photo from Ray's wallet, grainy but unmistakable. Bartender at Flamingo, bowtie askew, snapped fingers. Last week, high roller gone low, slots then vanished. Muttered, club closes tonight. Ray's face paled. Grip will white-knuckled as they sped black rock desert fringe. Old meat site 90s before raids. If he's there. Burning Man echoes lingered dust, but playa flat expanse under stars merciless. They arrived dusk, truck bumping art car carcasses, wind howling alkali ghosts. Silo loomed, rusted twin to Elmwoods, ladder beckoning skeletal. Dad! Ethan yelled, voice whip crack, scrambling up, Alex mirror behind. Summit creaked protest, view infinite void. There, silhouette against sunset blood orange, Dad sat edge, flask glinting, Bible open lap but unread. Head turned slow, eyes hollowed shell. Boys! Relief crashed, Ethan lunging hug, fabric damp tears. Jesus, dead. We searched, Ray, club, everything. Dad's arms folded weak, pat back awkward. Needed to see it where Ray broke free. Forgive myself. Alex knelt other side, hand shoulder. You're free now. With us. Words hung, wind sighing a chord. Dad's sob wrenched, raw gorge rise. Loved him. Loved you both wrong way once. Felt the pull, buried it. Club called me too late. Revelation settled dust. Family fractured mending. They descended ladder careful. Truck cab close quarter. Talk threading night. Forgiveness voiced. Wounds aired like laundry. Back Frisco. Ray waited porch. Embrace quadruple now. Club met special. Oaths recast. Dad initiated elder. Voice steady vows. Gallery show followed. Flames familial. Sales soaring. Headlines Twin Legacy ignites SF art scene. Months wove tapestry. Dad's sobering AA Castro. Sketching Rusty. Ray mentoring youth pairs. Safe haven expanded. Ethan and Alex. Studio loft hate. Canvases sprawling mutual muses. Bodies posed dawn light. Love captured eternal. One evening, bridge span. Foghorns moaning low. They stood rail, hands clasped. Rings simple gold exchanged private. Wild and forbidden, Alex whispered. Kiss salt sea. Ethan smiled, heart full. Now just ours. The club? Whispered still, but no longer secret beacon for bloods brave. And in that, meaning bloomed. Love's not chain, but circle unbroken. San Francisco's pulse thrummed beneath their feet like a lover's heartbeat. The city's eclectic heartbeat syncing with the twins' own as autumn fog rolled in from the bay, cloaking the hate in a misty embrace that softened the edges of their newfound world. Ethan woke to the scent of patchouli incense drifting from Ray's garden below, mingled with the rich roast of Ethiopian beans bubbling on the hot plate. Alex stirred beside him, sheets tangled around lean hips, a lazy grin splitting his stubble-shadowed face as sunlight pierced the gauzy curtains, painting golden stripes across his chest. Morning artist? Alex murmured, voice gravel from sleep and last night's whispers, pulling Ethan down for a kiss that tasted of dreams and desire. Slow, unhurried, the kind that spoke of mornings without hiding. Their loft, a converted attic above a vintage shop, creaked with the weight of canvases stacked against walls. Half-finished flames licking at paper edges, symbols of the fire they'd stoked for members. Downstairs, the household buzzed. Dad at the scarred oak table, pencil scratching tentative lines on newsprint, his once steady hand recovering from bourbon's tremble. Ray hovered, coffee mug in paw, offering gruff nods of approval. Not bad, brother. Got that haze spark. Dad glanced up, eyes crinkling, warmer now, less haunted since the playa confession. Just doodles. You boys, shows tomorrow. Nervous. Ethan poured cereal, crunch of flakes echoing domestic normalcy. Thrilled. Luca flew up, collectors buzzing about, familial inferno. Alex slid beside, thigh pressing Ethan's under table, secret code in the warmth. And Dad's piece, the twin silhouettes? It's the anchor. The gallery, tucked in a North Beach alley, breathed history. Brick walls scarred by earthquakes, air laced with oil paint and oaked Chardonnay at the opening. Suits mingled with bohemians, murmurs rising as spotlights hit canvases. Ethan's bold charcoals of entangled limbs dissolving to ash. Alex's watercolors bleeding crimson hearts. Dad's debut. Two shadows merging on desert horizon, titled Blood Reckoning. Ray's influence showed in corner installation. Club manifestos yellowed, blood prick vials empty beside. Luca clapped shoulders, champagne flute fizzing. Sensation. Bids starting $60K. Crowd swelled, flashbulbs popping discreet. SF Chronicle scribe jotting notes, a collector from LA cooing over details. Ethan navigated schmooze, smile easy now, but eyes sought Alex across room, locked in gaze that cut noise. A fan approached, 30 sleek with gallery pedigree. The twins, real brothers? The intimacy, visceral. Alex's arm-snaked waist casual claim. Blood's thickest paint. Night peaked euphoric, sales tallied, toasts clinking. Escape to alley where fog dampened kisses, hands fumbling zippers against cool brick. Hours. Ethan gasped, pulse racing under Alex's palm, city's hum fading to their rhythm. But dawn brought shadow, phone shrill. Ray's voice clipped, Dad's gone. Note, club calls. Finish what Ray started. Left at midnight. Panic surged, breakfast forgotten, loft spinning. They scoured Ray's house, drawers rifled, truck keys missing. Headed east. Ray guessed, face ashen. Old club route, Vegas relay to Ohio. Thinks he owes penance. Chase ignited, bags tossed hasty. Ray's Volvo loaded gas cans, maps creased. Interstate clawed east, desert blooming cactus spines under relentless sun. Stops blurred. Diners with pie steam and waitress drawls. Motels neon wink where they collapsed exhausted, bodies seeking solace. Alex's mouth hot trail down spine. Whispers will get him against skin slick. Vegas hit fever pitch. Strip fever dream of lights and excess. Casino dives yielded nothing. Dealers shrugging over cards shuffle. A club contact, ex-member Rico knew, spilled at dive bar. Saw Hayes Sr., railing about twin curse, heading Black Rock again. Solo pilgrimage. Playa awaited, dust devil whirlwinds dancing mock. They arrived twilight, truck bogging sand, silo stark sentinel. No silhouette this time, but track circled base, fresh, boot prints dad size. Heart hammering, Ethan climbed, Alex mirror summit wind whipped. There, base interior, rusted door ajar, flicker candle within. Dad huddled corner, Bible and flask companions, eyes wild moon. You followed. Ethan knelt, hand gentle arm. Family does. Words tumbled, Dad's torment voiced. Dreams of Ray Young, touches innocent turned suspect. Club pull like siren's song he'd ignored till now. Thought ending it. Burn the silo, me with it. Alex's voice broke soft. Live it. With us. Dawn crested, playa gold, they let him down, embrace triple at truck. Drive west heeled slow. Stories swapped, Silence is comfortable. Ray waited bridge, tears unshed, hug dissolving years. Back home, healing rooted. Dad's AA steadfast, sketches evolving therapy. Ray's club reformed, meets open to allies, vows evolved consent. Twins studio thrived, commissions flowed, book deal whispered for Flame Chronicles. Winter solstice, loft aglow candles. They gathered, Ray toasting to circles unbroken, Dad adding gruff and loves unchained. Alex pulled Ethan balcony, city lights winking below. Ring exchange renewed vow, wild forever. Kiss sealed, fog caressing, meaning crystallized, forbidden birthed free. Winter's chill nipped at San Francisco's bones, wrapping the city in a damp coat that seeped through wool and resolve alike. But the loft's hearth, a salvaged potbelly stove crackling with eucalyptus logs, warded off the cold with smoky warmth and the faint, resinous scent that clung to everything. Ethan hunched over drafting table, lamp haloing his focus as pencil whispered across vellum, refining the cover art for their forthcoming memoir. Two silhouettes fused at the edge of flame, one figure stepping free, the other reaching. Alex lounged on rug nearby, guitar strummed idle chords minor, evoking Elmwood's cornseye winds, while Dad and Ray debated club logistics in kitchen, voices a low rumble punctuated by clinks of herbal tea mugs. 6 new initiates last meet, Ray said, satisfaction threading his drawl. Youth from the valleys, scared, but sparking. We teach boundaries now, not just blood rights. Dad's chuckle rumbled, deeper post-sobriety, steady as the bay's tide. Learned late but learned. No more ghosts. Ethan paused, eraser tapping lip, gaze drifting to Alex. Profile sharp in firelight, fingers dancing frets like lovers' touches. 6 months since playa pullback, and the rhythm held. Mornings collaborative, afternoons solo pursuits. Ethan gallery assistant to Luca's SF outpost, Alex busking Castro for tips that funded strings. Evenings? Sacred bodies entwined slow, exploring facets. Silk scarves binding wrists gentle, ice cubes trailed spines eliciting shivers and sighs, trust woven tighter than DNA. But undercurrent stirred, letters arriving and signed, postmarked Ohio, scrawled warnings. Club's blood calls back. Twins beware. Ray dismissed as old guard dissent. Raid's bitter fruit. But Ethan woke nights sweat damp. Dreams of silos collapsing. Alex buried rubble. Tonight, unease prickled sharper. Phone buzz midstrum. Unknown area code 419. Ethan snatched, heart stutter. Haze. Breath heavy. Familiar rasp. Son? This Hargrove, your old neighbor. Your ma's lilac bush. Someone torched it. Dad's truck sighted near. Town talk he's unraveling. Preaching twin purge at bars. Line died static. Loft silent save stoves pop. Alex set guitar, face paling mirror. Elmwood. Dad entered. Tea steaming. Sensing storm. Go. I'll drive. Face the roots. Ray nodded, hand clap shoulder. Club's got eyes east. Call if needed. Dawn departure, Volvo groaning interstate. Fog lifting to reveal Sierra's snow-capped. Cab hum tension. Radio NPR droning politics. Irrelevant. Dad gripped wheel, knuckle scarred from farm work past. Proud of you boys. But town's poison. Stirred it once, stirs again. Ethan nodded rear view, Alex's hand thigh anchor. We'll douse it. Ohio welcomed gray, skies leaden, fields skeletal stubble. Elmwood unchanged, diner neon open. Church steeple piercing clouds judgment. Hargrove's farm first, porch light feeble, old man rocking chair. Rifle across lap casual. Saw him, Hargrove grunted. Tobacco chew spit arc, midnight. Gasoline can, muttering curses. Lit the bush. Flames wild. Like he was burning you too. Trail led VFW. Gravel lot puddles reflecting neon. Inside, air stale beer and regret, vet's clustered bar. Carla spotted. apron flour-dusted, waving frantic. Ethan, your pa rallied the old boys, ranting club devilry. Said twins love summons hellfire. Dad paled, pushing through. Back booth he sat, hunched, eyes darting shadows. Boys! Voice slurred slight, flask peeking pocket. Dad! Alex started, slide beside, hand tentative. Wrong. He cut, whisper venom. Saw it clear, raised letters lied. Club's curse, blood incest. Burned the bush to warn. Ethan knelt, eye level, voice steel calm. Love's no curse. Saved us, you. Fist clenched, but tremor betrayed. Town knows. Whispers turning shouts. Outside, night fell Enville heavy, rain spitting spite. They bundled him Volvo, drive motel Edgetown, neon no vacancy lie, room musty with Lysol mask. Dad paced carpet threadbare, monologue spilling. Guilt's resurgence. AA slip one beer leading spiral, visions of Ray damning. Stay, Ethan urged, bed edge Alex flanking. He'll here with us. Dawn wrestled reluctant, rain easing drizzle. Breakfast diner awkward. Plates eggs congealing, stairs pricking backs. Mrs. Delaney cornered, Bible clutch. Repent, boys. Fire next. Alex's retort sharp. Love's the only fire worth tending. Drive home fractured. Stops Reno for dad's detox. Ray meeting halfway, embrace tear-streaked. Loft welcomed, stove rekindled, family knit tighter. Book launch followed spring, crowd Castro buzzing, readings raw, excerpts playa pull, forbidden firsts veiled poetry.
Salle Sohard, Tour Béconned NYC, La, Whisper Europe.
A core held, summer solstice, club bonfire beach, flames leap skyward, vows renewed circle. Dad tossed old flask pyre, symbol surrender. Alex pulled Ethan surf edge, waves foam ankles, kiss salt spray. Through fires, he vowed. Ethan smiled, heart blaze, unburned, meaning deepened. Love's wild, not forbidden, but forged, endless, illuminating. Summer's zenith crowned San Francisco in a golden haze. The sun a relentless artisan gilding the bay's waves and the twins' skin as they sprawled on Baker Beach. Sand gritty warm under bare backs, the distant bark of seals mingling with gulls' cries overhead. Ethan traced lazy patterns in the dunes with a stick, flame motifs curling like smoke, while Alex dozed beside, chest rising steady. A book of Whitman poetry splayed open on his abdomen, pages fluttering gentle in the breeze off the Pacific. The club bonfire last night lingered in their bones. Embers still smoked on the shore a mile down, where Ray and Dad had led the circle, voices unified in chants evolved. Affirmation over oath, community over secrecy. Look at you, plotting infernos, Alex teased, eyes cracking open to slits, grin wolfish as he snatched the stick, etching a heart around Ethan's swirl. His touch lingered, fingers brushing wrist pulse, igniting that familiar spark, subtle here in daylight, among picnickers and dog walkers who glanced with lazy smiles, not suspicion. Ethan leaned in, lips grazing temple, inhaling sun-warmed hair and sea salt, just mapping our next canvas. Tour starts next week. NYC's got a queer-lit fest hungry for Flame Chronicles. The book had exploded beyond dreams. Hardcover stacks in indie shops from Haight to Brooklyn. Reviews hailing a raw elegy to blood and desire. Podcasts dissecting the twins' dynamic with reverent awe. Royalties trickled steady, funding the loft's expansion. A shared studio with Northlight windows, shelves groaning art supplies. Dad contributed illustrations, rough-hewn yet poignant, his healing etched in every line, while Ray managed club outreach, chapters sprouting in Portland and Chicago, safe spaces for twin-tied souls navigating the wild. But today was pause, breath between leaps. Ethan rolled to side, propping head hand, studying Alex's face. Freckles dusted nose from beach days, laugh lines fanning eyes, the scar knuckle faint reminder of boyhood brawls. Remember the silo? First storm. Alex's chuckle vibrated sand. How could I forget? You mud-kneed, swearing off me forever. Then kissing like apocalypse. Heat flushed Ethan's cheeks, memory vivid. Rain sheeting metal, bodies urgent against rust, the forbidden tasting like thunderclap. Best lie I ever told. They kissed then, unself-conscious, lips soft, tongues tentative tease, hands cupping jaws with reverence born of trials. A jogger wolf whistled distant, but no malice. Here, love was landscape, unremarkable as tide. Picnic unpacked, sandwiches turkey avocado from Delhi's ciabatta crusty, grapes bursting juice, thermos sangria tart berry. They fed bites playful, laughter bubbling when juice dribbled chin, licked away lingering. Talk meandered, tour cities, potential collabs with queer artists east, Dad's first AA anniversary cake baking plans. Ray's teaching him guitar, Alex said, plucking imaginary strings air. Off-key duets, Blood Brothers blues. Ethan grinned, heart swell. Dad's transformation astounded. Farm calloused hands gentle now on frets. Sermons traded for stories at meets. Elmwood a scar faded. Last letter from Hargrove. Town quiets. Your pa's fire lit something. Kids asking questions kind. Sun dipped lazy. Shadows elongating. When phone chirped. Luca, voice effervescent. Boys. MoMA wants originals for exhibit. Forbidden kin. Art of the twins. 6 figures. Whoop echoed beach. Alex tackling Ethan's sand tumble. Kisses peppered triumphant. Champagne tonight. Ray's stash. Evening unfolded Castro sparkle. Streets alive strollers. Bars spilling laughter rainbow. They dine taqueria. Tacos al pastor spice lip. Then velvet's show. Queen resplendent sequins. Lip-syncing prince with flair theatrical. Backstage. Hugs fierce. My twin flames. Book slays. Autograph. Loft aglow later. Stove unneeded in mild night. They slow-danced kitchen to radio jazz. Chet Baker croon velvet. Bodies sway close. Hips aligned memory. Alex's hands roamed back. Dip low. Breath hot neck. Want you, whisper gravel. Bed claimed them tender. Undressed deliberate. Shirts peeled slow reveal tattoos aglow lamp. Kisses mapping scars and sighs. Ethan atop, gaze locked, rhythm building wave. Gasp sink, nails rake gentle, climax shared shudder. Afterglow limbs entwined, breaths mingle soft. Dawn crept fog-shrouded, but clarity reigned. Breakfast communal. Ray's eggs scramble herb-flecked, Dad's toast charred perfect. Talk turned legacy. Club scholarships for young artists. Book precedes funding. Meanings in the mending, Dad said, mug steam curl, eyes clear. Broke us. Built better. Alex raised toast, juice glass clink. To wild loves. Forbidden no more. Ethan met eyes across table. Flame eternal. The secret club? Legend now, whispered inspiration. Their story its heart. Wild, yes. Forbidden, once. But love? Enduring blaze. Lighting paths untold. As tour van waited airport, hugs lingered. Promises calls, visits. Plane lifted. City shrink jewel box. Ethan hand Alex's. Future vast canvas. Below, bridges spanned, divides healed. Ahead, horizons beckoned bold. In that lift, meaning crystallized. Twins not bound by blood alone, but choice. Love's fierce, free forge.